Because usually they do not react at all, and it was.
But he threatened to sue you.
Yeah, but he never gave any points from the text that are inaccurate. That's why it finished with nothing. He couldn't.
So you obviously got under his skin a little bit.
That was wonderful. At least we got this reaction. It was a reaction. At least this reaction. Yeah, not in so many cases we have something like comments or interview. You can't imagine that Timchenko, for example, gave any interview to Russian press. He usually gave interview to foreign press. Do not ask such direct questions to him. Concerning criminal cases in Russia and how these powerful people can influence the businesses, the Western businesses, I can throw example of a Sweden company that's conducted oil explorations in Russia, looting petroleum. It so happened that looting petroleum has the license on oil exploration in Caspian region, the region of Caspian Sea, and they had daughter company. They has daughter company in Russia, Petroresurs, and some time ago, the conflict started from 2007. Somebody, the state, noticed that there is something wrong with ecology there. First, the state wanted to take off the license from this daughter company of Sweden company. Then they started to approach the company with different deals. For example, Gazprom asked to sell some part of this daughter company to Gazprom structure using petroleum, and the daughter company, they refused to do it. But finally the criminal case instituted was started in August 2009. Local prosecutor's office started the criminal case against the general director of Petroresurs, with one and the same purpose, showing that there were some violation of ecological laws. And in autumn 2009, 30% in this Petroresurs was sold to President Putin's friend company, to one of the Timchenko's companies. And there are no any violations now. Everything is quite good after they sold this 30%. Unfortunately, foreign companies never discuss this issue. You will never find somebody from foreign companies comment the situation if they have any problems. They solve the problems, I suppose, from my point of view, after they conducted this deal.
But what you're describing is a situation where the foreign businesses just roll over. I mean, something bad happens, their businesses are taken away, whatever, and they don't protest. And
only after foreign investors got into really difficult circumstances, they started to give comments or discuss the situations. Like in the case of these investors, invested 250 million. They were, the investors in this case were really big, the ING, Credit Suisse, UBS, Deutsche Bank, and the consultant company that's attracted this money to state-controlled companies, BCP Securities. It's the United States-based company, and for a long time they couldn't do anything with it. And we had a talk with the representatives of different people close to these companies. And first they asked many questions. They thought that maybe the state will help them. Maybe this criminal investigation has started really to help them to get their money back. And they asked, when they asked them question, how do you believe that it was really so? You can talk to any business journalist in Russia to understand there is no finance leasing business in Russia, especially in aircraft sphere. It is total nonsense. Everyone knows about it. Because there are not too many enterprises producing aircrafts, and all these state programs about developing of aircraft sphere, they are too optimistic. And as I mentioned, all the experts knew about it, but they trusted the state. They thought that if the state promised that everything will be fine, they can conduct this deal.
I'm going to turn the questions to the audience now. I'm sure you've got lots. And sir, Jameson Firestone, who perhaps you want to explain to the audience who might not know who you are.
Yeah, my name is Jameson Firestone. Came to Russia in 1991, and for the last 18 years have been running a legal firm that helps foreign investors invest in Russia. I've sat on the board of directors of the American Chamber of Commerce for the last 6 of those years.
In brief, sir.
Right, and I'm one of the people who you would describe as somebody who ran into trouble, even though I'm an old Russia hand. In brief, a bunch of MVD officers, Interior Affairs police officers, raided my law offices, beat one of my lawyers, with the express purpose of taking documents from one of our clients to commit a crime. They stole the documents, they re-registered the documents to a convicted killer, and stole $235 million from the Russian state. When we as lawyers exposed them, they took my partner, put him in a prison cell, tortured him for 11 months and killed him, and chased
They denied him medical care.
Well, yeah, but they made him sick.
I'm just explaining
Oh,
if
yeah.
people don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But do you think that...
So wait, I just had a question.
Yeah,
I actually have a question. Because one of the things that Roman said is where I think people here don't understand. Roman does his job. He makes noise. But what doesn't happen is a result from the noise. People don't get outraged and do something. It's rare that anybody comments. But one thing we've seen recently, just in our particular case, that we didn't expect, is that when my colleague died in prison, there has been a lot of outrage. And I think that outrage, it's not directed against the Russian state, which is Putin and Medvedev are popular. It's directed against criminal law enforcement, which seems to be more and more problems with criminal law enforcement. Do you think that it's getting to a breaking point? Do you think that Russian people are finally going to stand up to criminal law enforcement and say, we've had it with Bezpredelko?